Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of us here at Lesli interviewing our student alumni. And today, again, we have someone very special with us. Hi, Trisha, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. So, Trisha, what I know is you're planning to study your bachelor's in CS, right?
That's right.
So, can you share with us how many admits did you get from universities in the US and Canada?
Yes, I got quite a few. Some of them are Boston University in the US. Then I got Case Western University. Then I got UC Davis. And then I can't remember the others. But then Canada, I have University of Toronto. Like these are the good ones, I think.
That's very nice. University of Boston, Toronto, those are like very good universities, I've heard.
Oh, but I will be attending UC Irvine. I didn't
Okay.
mention. Yeah.
Okay, you'll be going to UC Irvine.
Yeah.
So, okay, firstly, congratulations to you on getting so many admits and deciding where you want to go. So, tell me a little bit about why you want to go to UC Irvine.
Okay, so primarily I was gonna go to U of T, which is in Canada, like Toronto. But
Mhm.
then eventually I decided that it's not the place for me because of the climate, the weather, and UC Irvine mainly is in California, and everything about California is great. It has beaches.
Mhm.
The course is pretty great. That's one thing that I did not mention. But then otherwise, the weather and everything, California just stands out to me.
I like that. Your decision is very practical as to, what's going to work for you and what doesn't work for you with regards to the weather and everything. Definitely practical.
Funny thing is, my father told me I'm gonna gain extra 2 years in my life if I go to California because basically in Canada for 2 years you're in your house. It's cold.
Yeah, of course, that definitely makes so much sense. So, Trisha, I want to say that I've understood that you shifted from ICSE to the IB curriculum in grade 11 and 12. So, how
Yes,
was that transition for you going from an ICSE board to IB? And can you share a little bit about your journey?
yes. So I would like to say it took time to get used to it. Like it was not easy. I thought since in ICSE everything's easy. Like even if you get 100 in math, it does not mean that you're gonna get the seven. Seven is the highest grade you can get in IB, and it does not mean that you will get it. It took some time for me, and I thought that school will be enough for me. Like I go to a very good school, and then I thought the teachers there will be enough, but then that wasn't enough. I had to start tutoring, and then I found teachers via Leslie, which was really helpful. So I had to start tuitions as well, but then the journey is not easy. And if someone is thinking of going to IB, I would say like start early, like transition in 8th grade, don't go in 11th and 12th.
That makes so much sense, especially the early transition that you've
Yeah.
mentioned. And you also mentioned that you've gone to a very prestigious school in Mumbai. So,
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit about your school journey as well? Did you still feel the need of an external counselor?
Oh, I did. Oh, yes. So, it's not ethical to say this, but I'd say my school wasn't really helpful with all
Mhm.
of my university decisions. So, like, I didn't know that my 11th grade marks were so important for me getting into university.
Mhm.
For me, I thought maybe if I do well in 12th, which I did, I scored almost full in all of my report cards in the 12th grade, but that wasn't enough for me to get into the universities I wanted because my extracurricular profile was pretty well. And Leslie helped me a lot with it. I think we'll talk about that later. But then I thought with my resume, end up somewhere really great, like better
Mhm.
than UC Irvine. But then my school really didn't help me a lot. And because of Leslie, I think I am where I am. Like Leslie taught me a lot about what APs are, which ones I should
Mhm.
do, maybe the SAT tutoring, all of it.
I agree that you brought up the point about school not being that much of a help, especially in a country like India, where the education system honestly is a bit cracked. And that is like a very realistic thing that a lot of students, I think, are still not aware of. But unless you actually start applying outside and trying to get into colleges abroad, you realize how much of a disadvantage sometimes we're at and
Yes.
why we actually need like career counseling. So I've understood that you've done projects and internships related to your passion, which is like AI and robotics. So what are your future career plans? Do they relate with AI and robotics?
Oh, yes, they do. I mean, I did 2 years of 3 years of robotics, and then I did a lot of projects in AI. One internship I found via Leslie, which was with some firm called as, I don't know what the firm name is. I'll get back to you about that. But then Leslie helped me found that internship, and then I actually spoke to another person, one of the other Leslie alumni who had worked there, and that like he said it was a great experience, which is why I chose to intern there as well. I think the person I worked with was called Mr. Arga Mukherjee. He works in cyber security, and then I learned a lot about chatbots and cyber security
Mhm.
there as well. Other than that, I also interned at IIT Bombay for with like a professor who teaches chemical engineering. But then his project was mainly about how um, gut microbiome, like your gut microbiome, can be used to predict if you will get diabetes or cancer in the next 20 years. It's a very niche project, but it's really good as well. It's related to AI.
This is very impressive. I mean, interning with someone at IIT Bombay, those are things that a lot of people just dream of, and that the fact that you've done it is so, so impressive. I just want to like convey that to you right now. So, what I also get, Trisha, is that you've been associated with Leslie for over 2 years now, beginning
Yes.
with career counseling, then profile building, and finally now your study abroad counseling. So, can you share a little bit about what your experience was like in all three of these domains?
Okay, I can go from okay, can you I'll go one by one.
Yeah. So firstly, career counseling.
Okay, so first things first, there was Shantanu sir. Like I gave a very big quiz. I was quite, angry that it's so long, but then it turned out to be really well because first of all, he told me I'm good at English, which my parents have noticed, but then again he validated this for us.
Mhm.
Then he told me I'm good at math, which I am. Like maybe in 11th grade I wasn't, but then I am. So he basically told me what career paths would be good for me, like something in engineering or something with science, which it's true because I've always wanted to do something in science with both of my parents. My mom is a doctor, so like I've been associated with science all my life. So they were really helpful with that. Other than that, even when I was in my 11th and 12th, so let's say I was taking up a project. So I built a project called Meza Firanandani Estate. So I spoke to Leslie about my project, and then they helped me incorporate how I can bring in the CS aspect of it even while doing social service. So
Mhm.
I think that was really good because maybe in the future when I want to build my own projects, doing bringing in social service with maybe money perspectives is a good way to go ahead.
Agreed. That's perfect. And then you move on to profile building, I assume.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So in this case, they were really, really helpful. Let me tell you that. So I think they started off with giving me a big list as to what I can do, what I should be doing. I didn't really stick to a lot of those things, but few of the things that I did were Inspirit AI that they suggested me. It was really good. I think it was about some NASA Kepler station asteroid AI thing. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was really interesting and it was with like ex Ivy professors. So that was a great thing. And I didn't know about this program till they suggested it to me. The second thing that I did with them was the internship again. That I told you about the alumni who I
Yeah.
spoke to. So that was the other thing they suggested me. Then I went to a summer school. UWC Mahindra, which is in Pune.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I went there for two summer schools again, which they helped me with, like the essays, the application, the interview, everything end to end. They even gave me mock interviews, how I should be answering questions. Then let's say I wrote an essay, but they were not satisfied with it. So I had to set up a call with Shantanu sir to discuss other prospects as to which might be suitable. So it was really helpful, their extracurriculars and everything.
That's very comprehensive. And then finally moving on to your study abroad counseling.
Oh yeah. So basically, in my 11th grade, as I said, I didn't really do that well in my academics, like not as much as I expected it to be. So they helped me out with a list of universities that I should be applying to, but then I wasn't so satisfied with it. So they suggested that I do better in 12th grade, which I did. And then they increased the scope of getting into some other universities as well.
Mhm.
Then I was initially going to apply to the UK, the and the US, but then later we dropped the UK, and then Leslie were completely fine with it. They were very supportive. And then when I told them that maybe I want to apply to a university in Canada as backup, they helped me out with all of the possible options. They told me I can apply to Waterloo. They told me I can apply to U of T. So they were really helpful with all of these ways. Like they told me you can do this, you can't do that. Maybe there's a chance of you not getting in here. So Stanford was my dream school. I didn't end up applying at the end because I was being realistic with my choices.
That makes so much sense. And I like how you put like your entire journey so comprehensively, something that spanned over like 2 or 3 years now. You've put it like in such a nice and precise way. Now, my next question to you, Trisha, is now after we've known about your experience with Leslie, something that we're all curious to know is would you recommend Leslie to anyone you know? And if you did, what would be that one key factor that you would describe about Leslie's services?
Okay, first things first, I've already recommended it to a few people. Then moving on to why, I would say the first thing is that Miss Dipti and Miss Shalini, like they just connect with you one on one and they are really helpful. It's not like the other counselors. Like I went to a few other counselors and they charge you per session. Like let's say I want to take a session, it's gonna charge me 1 lakh to take one session only.
Mhm.
Whereas with Leslie, you pay a limited amount and then you get unlimited sessions with that. It's not actually unlimited, but then like let's say it's an emergency, my application's due tomorrow and I tell Miss Dipti that oh no, I need a session today. She will figure out time to call, to set up a Zoom call. Like they are always there and they are never like pay first and then like they are personalized. Like the cost is one big factor and the second thing is how Miss Dipti and Miss Shanli coordinate everything.
Perfect. So, what I'm getting from your answer is more than like a business approach, they take on sort of like a student approach where the students need come first before the organizations.
True.
Yeah. And now, Trisha, coming to like my last question for you. Any advice you would like to offer students who are aspiring to pursue study abroad?
Hmm. If you're gonna switch from ICSE to IB, get tuitions. Like genuinely get tuitions. Other than that, start building your profile early on. Like
Mhm.
starting from ninth grade really helps a lot rather than doing just 11th and 12th because it gets too cramped up and then universities can kind of see through that you have done a lot of things only in the 2 years just to get into the university.
Perfect. I really like how you've stressed on the need to sort of build your profile early because I think if people start late, then it sort of comes everything at once and it's sort of like difficult to manage it later on then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, Trisha, we come to an end of a very nice, very detailed, very interactive interview. Thank you so much for everything that you've brought up today. I'm sure that everything that you said is gonna resonate with some student out there who's sort of in the same position as you looking to study abroad. So thank you for that and all the best for your future from the Leslie team.
Thank you.